Chosen ones. Listen closely, for the atmospheric grid is no longer stable. The snow moon has not merely risen. It has detonated a spiritual portal that is currently recalibrating the frequency of the planet. You must remain vigilant. The energy surging through this corridor is hitting with a force that far exceeds previous projections. This is not a common lunar event. It is a profound rupture in the spiritual fabric. In this specific window, your awareness is your only defense and your greatest asset. This portal is interacting directly with the energetic systems of the sensitives, those whose internal radar is tuned to the cosmic grid. While the masses remain oblivious, moving through their day in a state of terminal sleep, you are stepping into a high-stakes threshold that only a fraction of humanity can even perceive. The snow moon current is targeting the core of your energetic structure. If you feel a heightened sense of pressure, an unexplainable clarity, or a sudden shift in your perception of time, understand that you are being interfaced with. The surge is unfiltered. It is bypassing the usual emotional buffers and acting directly on your intuition. This moment is reserved for the few. It is a mandatory alignment for those who have outgrown the standard human frequency. Silence is no longer a luxury. It is a tactical necessity to process the data streaming through this portal. We are no longer waiting for a shift. We are standing in the center of one. The portal is active, the frequency is intense, and the old rules of engagement have been suspended. Trust what your internal senses are telling you over the noise of the world. The breach is open. The frequency is absolute. Your navigation of this portal begins now. Chosen ones. Under the light of this snow moon, the most powerful thing you can do is engage in intentional withdrawal. This is not a disappearance. It is not isolating in fear. It is the calculated reduction of the noise around you until your energy finally breathes again. Understand this. This full moon does not reward those who push outward. It empowers the ones who pull inward with purpose. Stillness today is not a pause. It is active participation. You are not stepping away from life. You are stepping into the exact frequency this moon is amplifying. Do not be deceived. Not every light is guidance. Some are traps for the restless. This snow moon brings a strange impulse, the urge to act, to fix, to move toward whatever feels bright or promising. But under this portal, not every glow is meant to be followed. Some lights show up precisely because you are vulnerable to distraction right now. They flare up the moment your energy softens, hoping you will confuse urgency with purpose. This is the test of today's portal. There are signals meant for you, and there are signals that only mimic meaning. The difference isn't in how loud they shine, it's in how your body responds to them. Remember, if something demands instant action, if it pushes you to run before you can think, that is not intuition, that is matrix interference. The truth is simple. What is meant for you never rushes you. It waits with patience, not pressure. When you stop chasing everything that sparkles, you make space for the one thing that actually matters to reveal itself. Sometimes, awakening isn't a dramatic breakthrough. It is exhaustion finally refusing to lie anymore. There is a plot twist happening under this snow moon that hardly anyone is talking about. People aren't awakening because they pushed harder or did more spiritual work. They are awakening because they are finally too tired to keep pretending they are fine. This is the sleepwalker effect. A sleepwalker doesn't stop because they gain awareness. They stop because something interrupts their momentum. This snow moon is that interruption. For years, you have moved through life on unconscious autopilot, thinking thoughts that were never truly yours. When the constant movement stops, the truth steps forward. This isn't the romanticized spiritual awakening people dream of. This is a quiet, honest one. It begins when a soul whispers to itself, "I can't keep doing this." And the moment that sentence forms, everything under this snow moon shifts. Stillness is not passive. It is a spiritual intervention. The veil is thinning. Do not let this moment pass in a state of slumber. Like this video right now to signal to the universe that you have chosen awakening over sleepwalking. In the comments below, type, "I choose stillness," to seal your intention into the energy grid of this snow moon. Subscribe the holy days and turn on the bell notifications. In these days of intense transition, this frequency will be your map through the distortions of the matrix. If these transmissions have guided your soul, you can support me with a cup of coffee at the link in the description of this video. Your support is a powerful vibrational signal. It confirms your commitment to this awakening and helps this light reach more of the chosen ones. The truth of rest transcends mere cessation of activity. It is, fundamentally, an act of steering, a deliberate recalibration of direction. It is not slowing down, it is ensuring the ship is pointed correctly. The arrival of the snow moon casts a brilliant, unforgiving light, initiating a very specific kind of spiritual audit. This cosmic pause is not random chance. It is a pinpointed exposure of the areas in your life where the energetic tapestry has grown threadbare. It reveals exactly where you have been dangerously overextending your resources, where momentum has become manic, or where you have absorbed far more emotional or mental static than your system can sustainably process. Many fail to grasp that a spiritual necessity, once ignored, never truly disappears. Life simply warehouses the missed lesson, eventually delivering it with exponentially amplified volume. This is precisely why this particular full moon manifests not as a demand, but as a gentle, insistent pressure. A quiet hand settling on your shoulder, commanding you to halt the relentless forward motion before the accumulated weight of that momentum becomes impossibly heavy. This moment is not a cosmic penalty, nor is it driven by fear. It is pure, preemptive protection. While certain cycles allow you to grit your teeth and push past sheer exhaustion, this one absolutely does not. February opens with the snow moon as a divine intention designed to create a necessary deceleration, softening the point of impact before you inevitably encounter the faster, high-velocity energies already beginning to surge just below the threshold of awareness. Visualize this immediate moment as a crucial buffer, a deep, restorative cushion positioned strategically between you and the inevitable next wave of effort. If you accept this gift, you will glide, effortlessly integrating into the flow of the month. If you disregard it, the universe, in its perfect economy, will later enforce the slowdown, and that required adjustment will be jarring and distinctly uncomfortable. The governing energy of this full moon is an urgent attempt to dismantle the conditions for burnout before they coalesce. It is a potent offering of reset, while the architecture of your life is still fully salvageable, before those small, unnoticed energetic fissures expand into irreversible fractures. And here is the profound, often inconvenient truth few wish to acknowledge. If you deliberately omit the pause from your schedule, life, or the universe, will eventually schedule it for you. That fundamental truth is the engine behind the current celestial insistence. Rest, therefore, is not delay. It is precise, energetic alignment. It is the conscious choice to step out of low-grade, unnecessary friction, allowing the path ahead to organically straighten and simplify itself. What is unfolding right now is an essential course correction, not a dramatic, crisis-driven disruption, but a soft, intuitive realignment that will ultimately save you from a much harsher collision later in the month. People frequently mistake rest for inertia or stagnation, yet in moments of deep spiritual recalibration like this, rest is movement, the crucial internal movement that prevents subtle, unconscious drifting into misaligned directions. The snow moon is gifting you an indispensable moment to draw breath, ensuring that February does not have to resort to teaching its necessary lessons through the brutal mechanism of sustained pressure. This is your premium opportunity to feel lighter, attain pristine clarity, and be wholly prepared for the acceleration that lies ahead. And once you truly internalize the necessity of this rest, you will grasp the critical importance of closely monitoring your energetic output over the next 2 days. For that is where the real integrity test begins. Silence is never truly empty. It is a sophisticated mechanism of internal calibration. Over the next 48 hours, expect something subtle yet fundamentally important to begin its slow, steady, unwinding process. Many individuals will register a tangible spike in background irritability, a low-grade impatience, or, most tellingly, an almost desperate compulsive urge to simply do something, anything, merely to manufacture the sensation of being productive or in control. You must recognize that this surge of activity is not born of genuine intuition, nor is it true urgency. It is the direct manifestation of deep, nervous resistance to stillness. When the governing energy field begins its necessary deceleration, the egoic mind tends to panic, instinctively attempting to colonize the resulting quiet space with superfluous tasks, exhaustive conversations, premature decisions, or simply relentless distraction. This is precisely the pattern today's full moon energy seeks to interrupt and dismantle. These frenetic urges are not derived from clarity. They stem purely from the discomfort inherent in true stillness. For those long accustomed to operating at a punishing, high-revving pace, silence feels profoundly unnatural. The survival-oriented nervous system reflexively attempts to conjure movement, creating external noise solely to avoid fully feeling the present moment. But here is the core truth you must absorb. Not every impulse that registers in your awareness is a calling to action. Sometimes it is nothing more than your conditioned mind staging a small rebellion against the onset of internal peace. This is why the subsequent 48 hours are so potent and definitive. You will feel an almost magnetic pull toward habitual forms of stimulation, obsessive scrolling through digital feeds, excessive talking to fill the silence, micro-planning every future contingency, fixing things that aren't broken, or simply constant consumption of information or content. Every single one of these reactive impulses fundamentally counters the restorative intent the snow moon is attempting to cultivate within your deeper self. The prevailing energy right now delivers its profound rewards only to those who possess the discipline to remain rooted in the present, without instinctively rushing to escape the profound opportunity of silence. Because within this quietude, something vital is being painstakingly restored. A pristine sense of internal clarity, an organic sense of direction, and an internal rhythm that has been severely muted, perhaps drowned out entirely, by the constant external noise of the previous weeks. Actively avoid saturating your space with meaningless filler activity. Refrain from over-explaining yourself or justifying your pause just to alleviate external or internal tension. Resist forcing forward decisions that hold absolutely no imperative to be finalized today. What might superficially feel like a state of inaction is in fact the universe diligently working on your deepest behalf. This is the sacred zone, where your personal energy field realigns itself behind the scenes, effortlessly, without struggle, and without the need for force. The next 2 days are not about quantifiable productivity. They are about preservation and profound energetic maintenance. They are about granting stillness the required time and space to complete the vital restoration the full moon has already initiated. And only once you fully respect the purpose of this quiet period will the subsequent rising tide of the snow moon energy become unmistakably powerful and clear. In this current epoch, the global environment is arguably louder and more demanding than any period in recent memory. Everyone seems perpetually locked in a cycle of rushing, reacting, responding, justifying, proving their worth, and relentless performing. Most individuals remain disturbingly unaware of the depth to which they have been inadvertently pulled into this ubiquitous chaos. There is a pervasive, almost gravitational pressure to maintain constant alertness, to keep pace with an impossible standard, to be immediately available, and to be visibly producing something at all times. Energetically, this behavior generates a kind of perpetual static field around people, a cloud of low-frequency noise that never truly dissipates. You can feel this oppressive hum in the strained nature of conversations, in the unrealistic burden of external expectations, and most acutely, in the way the world seems to insist on immediate, adrenaline-fueled responses to stimuli that often hold zero true significance to your soul's path. The snow moon serves a powerful function here. It exposes this pervasive noise not by contributing to it, but by vividly demonstrating how much of that chaotic energy you have unquestioningly internalized and absorbed. True rest, the deep, restorative kind, has become a radical anomaly. It is far more than simply closing your eyes or scheduling a break. It is the conscious, defiant refusal to engage with any urgency that is wholly divorced from your true mission or path. It is the resolute choice of stillness when every force around you is relentlessly attempting to yank you into reactive mode. And that is why, in this context, resting now is not merely a sign of laziness. It is an act of spiritual rebellion. It is your deliberate choice to step outside the hyper-stimulated system and declare with unwavering clarity that my sovereign energy is not up for negotiation or ceaseless demands. In moments of profound energetic pressure, stillness evolves into a powerful declaration of sovereignty. This full moon specifically amplifies and rewards those who refuse to be baited by sudden emotional spikes, the urgent demands of others, or the fleeting, sudden impulses of the ego. The mainstream world desperately wants you to conflate velocity with advancement, believing that speed inherently equals progress. Spiritually, however, the direct opposite is true under this celestial influence. The individuals who move slowly will gain the clearest vision. Those who implement the full, necessary pause will achieve a depth of understanding unavailable to the distracted masses. And those who commit to genuine rest will access opportunities that others are too overwhelmed and noisy to even recognize. There is something profoundly revolutionary about remaining silent and centered, while the environment around you desperately attempts to pull you under. There is an immense, quiet strength in being the one person who does not bite the hook of fabricated urgency. The energy of this moon validates and amplifies that strength, making its benefits unmistakable as you transition into the next, faster phase of the month. When you prioritize rest now, you are not failing to keep up. You are intentionally stepping out of the collective chaos long enough to achieve a complete, high-fidelity realignment of your bearing. And that is why, beneath the glow of this moon, rest ceases to be an escape. Rest becomes essential strategy, the only thing robust enough to arrest the momentum of spiritual burnout before it fully takes hold. It is the critical differentiator that ensures February hits uniquely and powerfully for the people who truly grasp the profound implications of this pause. February is commencing with a remarkably strange and counterintuitive rhythm this year. Instead of exploding into the month with the typical post-holiday rush of energetic bursts, it deliberately opens with an imposed slowdown. This is not symptomatic of anything going wrong. Rather, it indicates that something immensely important, something foundational, is preparing its ascent. This snow full moon acts as the crucial integration point, the precise energetic nexus where all the subtle but powerful shifts you have experienced over the last several weeks finally settle and anchor themselves deep within your system. Just as the physical body achieves its strongest adaptations and growth during periods of recovery, your spiritual essence strengthens and solidifies during this dedicated pause. We often forget that sustainable momentum is always constructed in predictable waves. It is energetically impossible to sustain peak output without an equally important drop-off phase. Analogous to how muscle fibers only truly grow during recovery, your spiritual energy field consolidates and becomes robust during stillness. The profound insights you have been gathering, the subtle lessons you have been absorbing, the incremental changes you have been undergoing, they have lacked the necessary space to integrate and anchor themselves into functional reality. This pause is that foundational space. This rest phase is emphatically not a detour from progress. It is the essential preparation for it. When you honor this mandatory period, you cultivate inner coherence. Your cognitive mind, your deep emotional center, and your intuitive guidance system all begin to move harmoniously in the same direction again. Decisions that felt foggy suddenly become crystalline clear. Your energy usage shifts from wasteful scattering to profound efficiency. Actions become targeted and sharp, replacing generalized, exhausting effort. And when the natural momentum of February inevitably rises, because it surely will not be dragged along exhausted behind it. You will be consciously, effortlessly carried by its flow. The individuals who choose to fight this pause will inevitably feel overwhelmed and disjointed later on. But those who fully embrace and sink into the stillness will move into the month possessing a sense of profound timing that feels nearly supernatural, as if the entire external path spontaneously rearranges itself to seamlessly match their deliberate internal pace. That is the unmatched power unlocked by honoring genuine rest. It flawlessly sets the stage and lays the resilient foundation for every single thing that follows. And that is why, Under the influence of this snow moon, the required quietude now translates directly into undeniable strength later. February is not initiating with brute force. It is initiating with precision alignment. And for those willing to fully respect this pivotal moment, the month ahead will not just feel lighter, it will feel profoundly guided. The snow moon does not seek your spiritual perfection. It demands only your radical honesty. A significant misunderstanding persists within many spiritual communities: the expectation that every full moon must be utilized for radiating forced positivity, maintaining an artificially high vibration, and relentlessly forcing oneself into a state of perceived inspiration. This particular snow moon is here to ruthlessly expose how utterly unrealistic, exhausting, and ultimately damaging that constant expectation truly is. Today is not asking you to manufacture the illusion that you are overflowing with divine clarity or soaring confidence. It insists only that you be profoundly present with the unfiltered truth of whatever is actually unfolding within your interior world. This is true even if that internal landscape feels quiet, oddly flat, completely neutral, or if it simply does not align with what you would typically label as high vibe. One of the most insidious traps people encounter is the habit of bypassing their true emotional state because they operate under the flawed belief that spiritual advancement requires constant, performative light. However, attempting to fake an elevated state during a full moon cycle actually erects a powerful block against the very experience this celestial gateway is trying to facilitate. This moon is not a performance stage for the ego. It is a mirror, and mirrors hold no capacity for deception. When you pressure yourself to appear more positive or aligned than you genuinely feel, you sever the vital connection to the inner voice and deep-seated wisdom this lunar portal is attempting to amplify. The simple truth is this: your emotional landscape today, regardless of its appearance, is a fundamental component of the required integration. Even if you perceive yourself as feeling empty, quietly neutral, or strangely blank, that profound stillness is not a failure of practice. It is the clearest sign that your complex system is undergoing a necessary, deep-level recalibration. And attempting to pretend you are further along or more spiritually coherent than you are only propels you further away from the deep, internal work this moon is designed to execute. The snow moon honors authenticity above every other trait, because authenticity is the only mechanism that unlocks the interior door you have perhaps been orbiting and ignoring for months. There is absolutely no flaw in not feeling intensely spiritual today. There is nothing wrong with lacking euphoric motivation or feeling less than deeply enlightened. In fact, the individuals who feel the most grounded, the most calmly centered, or even the most genuinely unsure are often the ones moving through this powerful portal exactly as intended. You do not evolve by forcing yourself to feel more. You evolve by being flawlessly real. You do not need to strain for a higher vibration right now. You only need to acknowledge the unvarnished truth of your current location. That act alone is what activates the profound shift. That level of honesty is what aligns you with the next chapter. And that is precisely why this full moon becomes such a profoundly transformative event for those who abandon the struggle to force a specific feeling, and instead allow this powerful moment to reveal an undeniable, deeper truth to them. In the sweep of time, you will scarcely recall the exact phase of the moon, but you will permanently remember the pivotal moment you truly awakened to yourself. The luminous presence of the snow moon will not linger indefinitely in the night sky. Its powerful glow will inevitably thin, its cosmic intensity will wane, and the potent portal that feels so acutely present right now will quietly dissolve back into the mundane rhythm of everyday life. But the profound stirrings it ignites within your core, that is the part that does not dissipate. That is the indelible part that remains and anchors. Full moons do not merely illuminate the external world. Their real power lies in casting light upon the inner corridors of your being, the parts you have consistently ignored, habitually postponed, or simply never afforded the dedicated space to explore. And once those interior corridors become vividly visible, once that inner door cracks open wide, a fundamental core within you refuses to ever return to sleep. This is the profound, lasting gift delivered by this portal. It instigates a foundational shift in how you navigate your existence. Even long after the physical moonlight is gone, you will discern that you are no longer pulled by the same frivolous distractions. You will feel far less compelled to pursue things solely because they possess a superficial sparkle. Your energy becomes radically more selective, profoundly more honest, and surgically precise in its application. You begin to effortlessly sense the profound distinction between what merely feels familiar and what is in truth authentically aligned with your highest path. And that precise, unshakable clarity flows directly from this mandated rest phase, from the exact moment you finally granted yourself permission to stop long enough for your deepest, truest self to rise unmistakably to the surface. Most people are conditioned to believe that meaningful transformation demands violent, dramatic breakthroughs. But the snow moon operates through a superior intelligence. It transforms you by restoring you, by gently decelerating your pace just enough for your deeper, innate instincts to fully catch up to your body. It grants you the expansive, internal quiet necessary to finally hear the thoughts that are typically silenced by the ceaseless din of external noise. And when the exterior portal closes, you will finally realize that the significant shift was never located in the sky. It was anchored permanently in the new, integrated way you perceive and feel your own presence. You do not have to frantically chase some idealized enlightenment or forcibly conjure an awakening. If you honored the gift of stillness tonight, you have already completed the most essential phase of the work. The rest you consciously permitted yourself to take became an irrevocable point of energetic recalibration. It flawlessly softened the spiritual tension you were unconsciously carrying. It honed and sharpened your intuitive perception. It vividly reminded your core energy what it feels like to move forward without the exhausting drag of self-imposed resistance. And that coherence is the only real force that will ensure February is stronger, not through sheer effort nor high-octane intensity, but through perfect, subtle coherence. As the ensuing days unfold, you will repeatedly catch yourself making choices that feel instantly and organically natural. You will respond to life from a place of clear vision instead of reflexive habit. You will feel a quiet, pervasive sense of guidance, one that requires no dramatic announcement or external validation. It is subtle, yet utterly unmistakable, like an essential internal compass you hadn't realized was broken, suddenly flicking back online. And that's why this moment matters so much. Because what the moon triggers is temporary, but what it awakens is permanent. The portal will close, yes, but the door inside you won't rest now. Not because you're slowing down, but because you're stepping into a chapter that finally matches who you're becoming. And for once, you won't need to rush to meet it. Though the light of the snow moon will eventually fade from the physical sky, the imprint it has left within you is eternal. This was not a fleeting event. It was a profound transformation that has already begun. The door within you has been unbolted, and your only task now is to step over that threshold with conscious intent and unwavering courage. The greatest teaching from this portal is not to seek a blinding light outside of yourself, but to trust the silent lighthouse within. It teaches us that true power resides in the ability to pause, to listen, and to discern. The world will never stop its noise, and deceptive glows will continue to flicker in your peripheral vision. But you have been equipped with a new, more precise internal compass. Remember, not everything that sparkles is gold, and not every urgent invitation serves your authentic growth. Mastering the difference between divine intuition and matrix interference is the most precious skill you can cultivate. From this moment forward, whenever the world attempts to pull you into its frantic vortex, remember the stillness you anchored under this snow moon. This is your reminder that you hold the sovereign power to choose your frequency, to refuse to be swept away by lights that do not belong to you. Let the gentleness, the clarity, and the inner guidance you feel now become the bedrock of every decision you make. The new chapter you are entering does not demand haste or self-validation. It invites conscious presence, patience, and absolute faith in the path that is slowly revealing itself. Continue to hold this inner space. Let tranquility be your sanctuary, discernment be your compass, and authenticity be your language. The rest you have chosen was not a delay. It was a grand restructuring, allowing you to build a life that does not just survive, but prospers in its most genuine form. Stand firm in that stillness, for it will be your most enduring source of strength as you move forward. Trust the whisper within. It will never rush you, but it will always be on time. This is the eternal gift of the snow moon. It is now yours to hold and yours to live.